Hello everyone, and welcome to the one and only French Grand Prix here in the SOR Racing Series here in F1. So, it will be a pretty interesting race, because, you know, France is a good track. Not saying that because it's my home track at all, but, totally no favors in. Okay, here we go. Got everything sorted. Now we to stream, so we'll enable everything. We get full track map. Get the detail for what tires. So now I may publicly do my intro. I'd say the strategy people would go with here would be the mediums to hards strategy, or if you're feeling brave, you can do softs to hards. But I doubt that'll be the case. Turn the sound up. Okay. Hold up. Turning up the sound. Give me a sec. Properties, levels. Right. Okay. Here we go. Turn this down a bit. Right. Okay. So we're going to go on a lap with Fox because he's currently the person on board. So here you want to take a nice entrance here and go wide and inside. He doesn't really do that quite too well there. That was actually a poor turn one. Don't use too much of that curb. It will cost you time. Turning it nice and early here. Get almost all of the car inside the line. Here there's a really poor exit there as well. Then again, he is only on the hard compound tires, so we have to forgive him. Don't worry about it. Got lost some time there going on the curbs here. Also want to throw in the car, go into second gear to get the car turning as much as track there. It's currently going left and right, so I'm not sure too much what he's doing. Here, use as much as the track as you can. And here, brake as late as you can. And you don't want to use too much of the brakes as you will lock up here. Really important to get on the brake or get on the accelerator nice and early there. Ooh, and he actually locks. Oh, okay, that was just a little glitch. That's a nice exit there. You want to use all of the track here on the right and just send it in to the left. He doesn't do that too well, and he's really compromised his line there in the middle. So I don't think we'll see a competitive lap from Fox. But he does set a pole position, so Maple must have screwed the lap over there somewhere. With a 1:33.1, the next person to come across the line is Polar Haze, and he's starting a lap. Awkward. Okay. Cosman sits a lap with a 1:30.2, and SOR quickly gets pole position from GC Fungus with a 1:32.1. So the current leader of the SOR Grand Prix, the SOR standings, as Lucas sets it fast up with the 1:32.0, is Ruthful, who is in the lead by, I wouldn't say some margin, but he is quite in the lead ahead of his teammate Windy, who's not actually here. So we'll compromise him a bit. Not compromise him, but compromise Windy. So apparently this is one of Maple's best tracks. It's not really seem to be living up to that too much, considering he's on the softs and the fastest time is on the hard compound tires. Oh, as he sends it wide there and goes into the pits. Maple goes into the pits. So we will go on a lap with the championship leader, who is it was just box for pits. It was just box for pits. It was just put it into the pits. Impact coming out. We've seen him. He's been quite quick, especially there in Canada. We did see him a bit alongside the inaudible gamer, who is seems to be favorites coming in from last race. You know, he was quick, but he wasn't. You know, he couldn't keep the pace in Canada compared to Ruthless. We haven't seen a lap of Ruthless yet, so we'll have to see what happens. There's actually Yasin 2 seconds quicker on the soft comp out there, so only 136. That's gonna be difficult to beat on any other compound out there. So we should probably go with someone who's on the lap. I'd say Wesso is currently on the lap. Seems to be pushing it quite a bit there. Keeps a tight line in and out. Not too shabby. One thing that's also important to mention is that corner there, just the first corner actually. Well, as you enter sector 2, that corner you can take really wide and abuse track limits there. So I say Ruthless is probably only go on one lap, or two, let's say, as he comes out it's now. So we will go on a lap with him once he comes out. Actually, Wesso is entirely out of ERS here, so it will cost him quite a bit. So we'll be forced to stick it in high, because it is quick and it does recharge, I guess you could say, well enough in the corners, but only having 6% ERS isn't really going to get you anywhere. Actually, he stays out now. He regrets he goes into the pits. He sees no reason to continue, so might as well go and box. So we'll go with Ozone. So he's been a really quick boy. He's won quite a few times here. His first win being in Spain. So we'll have to hope for the best for him. Just gets that corner. I'd say it'll be an invalidated lap. Across the final few turns until he starts his lap. I imagine he might take away pole position from our man Yasin, who's with a late 130.664. Alright, so as he comes in the final corner now, we will stay in this camera for the majority of it, except for the straights, since that can be a bit of an eyesore. Alright, so coming in to turn 1, uses all of the track there, uses the inside line as effectively as he can. Seems to have taken that quite wide there, actually, wondering if that's not an invalidated lap, but we will have to see. He is still pushing, so hasn't been invalidated. Goes around this corner. Here's the corner where you can abuse track limits, but he doesn't. He's a good boy. Really easy to get off wide there, and that could be an invalidated lap once again, but I don't think that is the case. Well, he is in high, so I'd say, I'm not sure. So it's a pretty solid lap from him, coming across the final few corners here. Really difficult back corner, especially when you use the back end there and gear down one too quickly. and he actually puts it in the pits. So he must have made a mistake there somewhere, but that's a set of soft compound tires used now because of it. Lewis Badminton, who we've seen fight quite a few times, but he's always managed to, I wouldn't say bottle it, but he's always managed to get himself nowhere at the top. Like we saw in Monaco, he was quick. He was, I believe he was in the top 4, and then he got disqualified, or was it a DNF, I'm not sure. Last week in Canada, I'm not sure if he raced here. He abuses track limits there as well. So if he does get pole position because of that, I'm sure the stewards will see something. Very unlucky that I streamed. Interesting, coming through turns, I'd say 10. Not too sure what the corner names are written there. So yeah, no, it was turn 10. So turn 11 is a really tricky corner. Don't want to smash the gas, truly. You're heading into turn 12. Very handy for the commentator. We'll be able to see turn 13 right there. And we're approaching turn 14. So you can see that billboard there. And he puts it in the pits. So, yeah. Okay, Ozone puts it on the mediums. It's currently 3 people haven't set a lap. It's Ingenio, Ruthful, Ruthful, other one. Forgot to keep the name, sorry. And Impact. It was on the soft compound tires, but Ruthful is actually coming out on a lap now. So. So will we see Ruthful claim pole position? I doubt it, but we might see him come in second if Maple stays on the hards. It is a pretty quick lap considering they are on the hards, and he's actually on the lap. And actually Impact takes away that potential second place with a 1 minute 31.4. So currently Yassid actually in the late 29s, just realized the time changed since that's what we checked. But Maple is on a lap. No, he's not. Never mind. So R10 is the last that will set a proper. He just set a lap. Okay, I'm very sorry. So Ozone's the last person out to set a lap time. We should see him get somewhere at the top, I'd say, because he is a really quick boy. He's coming across the line now to start his lap now. Okay, so we will stay on the lap, and this will be the best camera trick you'll ever see. You want to use as much of the outside track you possibly can heading into turn 1 and 2. Turn 2, very easy to lose it back in and go wide and validate your lap here. Use as much as the corner you possibly can heading into turns 3 and 4. Easy to go wide, but then you would have, whoa, what on earth was that? Whoa, okay, so that's turn 5 sign completely gone. Here into turn 7, that was very something there from that Renault. I believe it was Ingenieur or Luca. I didn't put my money on Luca though, if I may be honest. He's cutting every corner, so heading into turns 8 and 9, he does. Oh, he almost cuts that corner completely. It would have invalidated his lap. He keeps going though, heading into turn 10. He destroyed all the billboards, whoever was that up ahead. So yeah, heading into turn 11 now. That billboard's completely shattered there on the right as well, so very complicated for me as well because I don't know my car names. Heading into turn 12 and turn 13 here. He kept it really nicely here. Heading into turn 14, you want to go wide and then gear down to get the car turning. Heading into the final corner, turn 15, you want to stomp on the gas. DRS activated he will come across the line to set a 1 minute 30.7, so that is definitely P2. P2 indeed. Yeah, it was Luca. He just went to the pit, so. So that's second place taken away from Impact, or Luca I should say. Well, both of them, they were in P2 there for a brief moment. So I think Yasin will keep his pole position considering he's on the soft compa tires. But he will lose a lot of time though, compared to the others. So you will set a lap. That's interesting. Cross the line now. We'll stay like this so we can get a nice angle on the Ferrari. The Ferrari. It's actually spun. Sorry if I didn't react too well to that, but I was checking out the standings at the same time. So yeah, spun out. He won't set another lap, I presume. Yeah, as he pulls away. And I'd say that'd be his lap done, but Ozone is not on the lap. So Ruthful is not on the lap. Wessel is on the lap. Yeah, he is on the lap. He's most certainly on the lap. He's a 10th down on, or 10th up on his time, but ERS kind of running out now. Don't really see him improving on his time. This is Formula 1, you never know. Ruthful was actually on the lap. He comes across front line, but he is 6/10 down. I think it would just be quicker to get rid of it like that. Sends one into the pits as Uso does. Impact is on these soft compound tires. Will finish a lap here. We should see him boing up in the leaderboard there. As you see, the Inaudible Gamer puts himself in P3. He was already P3. I'm just very low on this one. And Impact does not improve on his time. So the only person now we're waiting on is Polar Haze, who is going into the pits. So that's going to be your final three, with Yasin P1 on the soft compound tires, Ruthful and SOR the Inaudible, or Yasin Ruthful to line up the first grid. Alongside him in the second grid we have the Inaudible Gamer and Luca. The third grid we have Maple, Wessel, the two Williams. Then we have David and Gino in the fourth grid. And then we have Impact Lewis on the fifth grid, Cosmin and Futuristic on the 6th grid, Fox Juicy Fungus on the 7th grid, and to end it all out, to end it off, we have Polar Haze and R10 who are in the final grid, which was, I believe, 9th. Or 12th. Either one. So, people on the hard comp tires are everyone from 12th to 16. Mediums to softs, mediums all the way up to Yasin. So Yasin is in a bit of a pickle now because he is on the soft compound tires, and these will run out soon. So yeah, it won't last too long. So I'd say they're on a better strategy than the others. They're on a strategy that lasts longer, I should say, not better. Every strategy is good in its own way. But I'm just saying. Okay, so there are clouds, so I don't know if this is going to be a wet end or anything like that. This is a moment we all love, where we get to see the the people in the pit crew. That's what they're called. And here we go for the formation lap. So, here we go. The French Grand Prix is about to start. This is the sad part where we have to watch the drivers finish off qualifying and forced to battle out with each other to get that P1. Luca has actually left the session. I'd say that is a disconnect issue, so I will try and re-invite him there. He's been invited back. So Luca is rejoining. Coming through the final few corners. This corner is pretty interesting, not gonna lie. So here we have the drivers currently going into their formation. I don't know if Luke is back, but didn't see him reconnect. So I have to hope for the best for him. Right, so here we go. The drivers are now lining up for the starting grid formation. Yasin, who is challenging from the first place on the leaderboards. Ruthful right behind him as we have 4 lights. 5 lights, and it's lights out, and away we go. Yasin gets a wonderful start compared to Ruthful, as Ruthful is forced to tuck in behind, and we have a laggy Renault there in the back. So everyone getting off to a clean start here, but turn 1 is always a place where there's a lot of contact. That Red Bull, and then there's a Williams going out, and that's the Williams of Wesso, I believe, and that's actually an Alfa Romeo who gets pushed off wise there as we head on to Eugenio, who gets a double move there on both the Red Bull and on that's the Williams of Wesso who spun out there. So there will be some time lost there, as Yasin's already 3/10 ahead of Ozone, but I say already, but that's not much, as we can see here. So if we go to how many positions, Lucas lost the most with 5 and Vessel with 11. The person that's gained the most is Pixel, who's already found himself in P12 when he started P16, I believe, if my math is correct. I'm not here for math, I'm here for competition. On the tire from information will stay on, but these two seem to be neck and neck. Actually, as Yasin lags forward again, heading back. Let's see if anyone has spun. And actually, that's Pixel going very wide there and losing the position, as we see R10 maybe going for a dive on Fox. Fox does go wide, so R10 might see the inside line. He does, but then he cuts the corner because it's not enough time to slow down. Actually, we see Futuristic, who finds the outside and complete out of boundaries there, and does not get a better run on R10, so that's the move done for now. And currently this train is long. Everyone up until P5, I say, are neck and neck with each other. And then we have Ozone and Yasin currently on a battle together, so we will see lots of time penalties there. That's a warning there for Ruthwell, I can tell. I can even show you how good I am with my track limits here. Watch. Where's he didn't. Okay, actually we see Yasin. You will get the switchback. Ruthful. Oh, I lose at the back end. Yasin forced to break there. Ruthful will get a move down the outside, heading into turn 17. Yasin cuts the corner really badly there. So now it's a drag race, but with the soft combat tires, we should see him easily get through. But they are neck and neck. This is literally Lewis Hamilton. Gasly, will they go for a move down the outside? Ruthful, he does break later, but Yasin goes around the outside, and he will get his switchback. Ruthful, we see him move down there from Wessel on GC Fungus. So Wessel already getting positions back, but he didn't lose much time. He managed to slot himself back in right behind. Actually, we see a yellow flag, and that's the Haas of Polar Haze, who's spun it and who's lost the back end there, or has been put it out. Either one, we'll have to find out. But actually, we go back to Ruthful now, who is on a move on ES, and he will get a switchback going up the hill. And we see another yellow flag, and that's actually the McLaren of SOR, the Inaudible, and Luca, who seems to be losing position there, but I don't know if Luca is joined back, so we will have to find out afterwards. Whew, hectic first two laps, but they are not over, I can tell you that much. It's actually, there's a move there going down for impact on David on Luca. So Luca, I don't know if he's managed to reconnect, but we'll have to find out. Maple and Eugenio said see fastest lap with a 1:35.6. DRS is enabled this lap, so on the back straight, Yasin will be sweating his butt cheeks off, as I like to say. Yasin going wide there, that is 100% a warning. I'm not going to check, but Yasin tries to go from the outside. He doesn't get the move done because Yasin blocks it off. So heading into turn 3 and 4, Yasin seems to be very vulnerable here on these soft compound tires that will wear out within the next 2 to 3 laps, not even, I'd say. But Yasin does go wide, and you will have a poor line here compared to what Ruthful will have. You will get that momentum there going up the hill with DRS, with overtake mode. And we see a spin there. That's actually R10 who spun there at the back, but we won't go on him too much as Yasin sees Ruthful, but he stays around the inside. They touch tires heading into turn 9, and he will get a switchback. Yasin, a clean switchback with the soft combat tires. He should easily get through on Yasin, but we see Maple, the SOR league owner, catching up to these two, and he's definitely catching up to these two. He could see them now. He could touch them. He could literally touch them as he goes wide there, so that will be some time lost. So Yasin forced to defend, actually breaks much later than breaks much earlier than what Ruthful does. Ruthful all over the back, so we will most likely see a move heading into this DRS rate if he does get a nice exit. Yasin seems to have got an okay-ish exit. Actually, he's got a poor exit compared to Ruthful, so that should be an easy move there by Ruthful, actually, as he sets the fastest lap. So he will tuck in behind, but he will get DRS next straight. And we see Ingenio now maybe going for a move on Maple down the inside. No, he doesn't, but we see his teammate Luca, who is actually reconnected back, and he cuts that corner completely and does not get a time penalty for that. So that is something there. Lewis Babington on a move on impact around the outside. Did not see that, but it must have been clean because we did see him in full strength heading into turn 3 or 2. So Yasin will have DRS, but he does have much worn out tires. With soft compound tires, it will just be that little bit easier. But Maple, who is not in DRS, under pressure from Ingenio, but we will stick on with Yasin. No, he won't be able to move, but will Ingenio be able to? No. Will Luca? No. David actually outbreaks himself massively there, heading into turn 9, and that's him losing a lot of time and allowing Lewis Babington to catch up. So Impact on these soft compound tires there at the bottom is actually in a poor position because this train of cars, with these two trains of cars, will want to get moved. And actually we see Ingenio going side by side, heading into turn 9 and then turn 11, and that's Ingenio who's actually tapped the back and who's sent spinning there for a tiny bit. Luca with connection issues, ghosting. Actually Ingenio does not want to see that and goes down the inside of Maple. He did cut that corner, so I'd say even if he did get a move, you have to live by it, but he will go with turn 14 down the inside. Maple does go white. They will go side by side here, heading into turn 15. Maple keeps the defending line, manages to get right front, and the Ingenio forced to back out of that. So they both have DRS, but with the power slipstream, as we know how good it is in this game, will want to get moved on. And actually that's Yasin under pressure from Luca, and Luca back into P2, and actually Ingenio cuts in across Maple there. Does he have front wing damage? No, he doesn't, so he should be fine for the time being. But now David's all over back of Maple, and Maple will want to get the move done as quickly as possible back to get P4, because extra points, it means extra dough, and especially Maple hasn't really gotten that good over the last 6 races, so he will want to see hopefully getting more points. David with a better run though, only he is in overtake mode, but he is closer to get that better slipstream effect. And I saw a driver there going for a move, but it turns out it wasn't. So David lagging, but keeping a good line compared to these guys. We get some really good exit there, and going down the inside here, heading into turn 10. This never goes well usually, but they both communicate well, and they will keep going side by side, heading into turn 11. And then I knew that would happen. That's David, who loses completely back in there, does a deja vu drift there from Tokyo Drift, manages to catch it, but the rear he comes back on track, sorry, there in front of Lewis, and actually almost makes Lewis punt the back of him. So David all over the place on the track, and actually we see Fox, who has got a really bad exit there, has been overtaken by 2 people, and we see Cosmin there going completely wide. I don't know what happened there, but something happened, complete chaos. And actually we see more chaos as we see Impact taking out the, as we see Impact getting taken out. See Impact getting taken out, period. He doesn't take out anyone else, he takes himself out more than anything. So I think that's front wing damage there for the Haas, and he got collected at the same time. Yeah, that's his right wing end plate gone. But just appreciate how the hards look so well in the Haas. Anyways, right, we're not here to look at the different things, but actually Blissful now is creating a gap 1.9 seconds behind Yasin. Yasin will see his podium position maybe be gone. He stays around the inside there and forced to get out, and we see Maple and David actually touching, and Lewis Badminton just says thank you very much, takes his hat off and goes. The Inaudible Gamer is behind Maple now, but I think that was David there on the move for David on the move of Maple, and it didn't go out too well. Lewis Badminton was slower than these guys, I think, because they're David and Maple are already a 10th behind each other. It's a very interesting first 6 laps. The people on these softs will want to box soon, I'd say. Within the next 3 laps, they'd all box. Wouldn't be surprised if I saw a few of the self-runners boxing now, but Lewis Badminton is on the, oh no, just a visual glitch. It's Yasin here on the soft compound tires, so you'll want to box as soon as possible, I'd say. So really now, you see David gaining, and that's actually the Haas driver. Oh, man, it's a painful glitch. David all over the back of Lewis Badminton. Will he go for a dive bomb here? No, it would have been very ambitious if he did. But the Inaudible Gamer actually is behind Maple and sees this train up to P5. So he's in P8 now. So we will say thank you very much if you can manage to sneak past and get a P5. So David currently closest, but Yasin gaining monstrously, even if he's on done fuel or ERS mode. Lewis will get a poor run here. David will get a good exit here, heading into turn 10. There's actually a yellow flag there, and that's actually Impact He was on these soft copper tires. He's actually sent one into the wall. Hasn't lost any front wing though, so that's a good sign for him. So this train of 4 cars still close to each other. David losing the back end there will allow Maple and the Audible Gamer to close up just that much. Any spin or lose back rear. Is the rear wing now. I already forgot. Back end, that's what they call it. And he lost to the back end now. With these 4, the other drivers will pounce and try and get the move done. But Maple gets a poor exit then. Audible Gamer, actually, I think the Audible Gamer is running a high. Excuse me, how downforce actually, as we see David completely cutting that corner to get the move down on Lewis Babington. Will we see him return the position back? No, I don't think he will. But I don't know if that was an illegal overtake, but we will have to see. Because he did kind of. In the end, he did. It looked like he kind of looked at track and was like, I see something different here. But Ruth 40, 2.2 seconds behind Yasu. Or Luca. The Audible Gamer gaining on Maple. He won't be able to get a move done this lap because Maple does have DRS. But if Maple drops back anymore, he will be out of DRS. So it will be unfortunate for him. So no safety cars. That's a big bonus. No one's died so far. But as they say that, there's a yellow flag. I don't know where the yellow flag is, but there's a yellow flag. Sector 2. Oh, and actually that's R10. And that was actually a big collision there. From R10 and I presume it's Impact. Was that Ferrari there at the bottom? Not too sure, but there's no safety car. Ozone completely cuts that corner, gets a 5-second time penalty. So now his chances of winning a race have declined quite massively there in the space of one turn. Didn't see what happened, but I presume he locked up and was forced to cut. He's not getting it just yet. Lewis Badminton seems to be all over the back of David there as he gives him a little lift pep. As you like to see in racing. So it was a pretty action-packed start. Now we're coming into the phase of the race where the pit stops will come into play and undercuts will occur and such. But there are clouds above, and I don't know if that means rain or if it's just, cloudy in general. We will have to see. Yeah, I hear an engine really quickly there. It's Maple. On the back of these two. So will we see Lewis Badminton getting a move on David, who does not have DRS? Maple is closer though it seems. David doesn't get the best exits. Now with DRS and slipstream, will we see him get the move done? But if anyone's close on each other, it's Maple on Badminton. He did gain. It wasn't enough. Pixel gets a 3-second penalty for corner cutting. So now with the lack of grip, that turn 10 corner can be lethal. So this is a train of 4 cars there, all really close to each other. So I don't know who's gonna get, you know, the position. But we will see soon, I'd say. The yellow flag, trying to see where the yellow flag could be. I'm pretty sure it was just because they were boxing. Because that's something. Ooh, we might see Lewis Badminton going for a big boy dive here, heading into turn 1. No, he doesn't. But he is really close, and we might see a move heading out of turn 6 and 7. David seems to be losing the back end here in quite a lot of places. So, oh, he breaks much later there. Lewis Badminton gets the better of him, staying into turn 7. He is monstrously close now, and David will be put under pressure. He does have more ERS though to play with, but he won't care too much, as we will see Lewis Badminton going for a move down the inside and manages to get in front before the corner even started. So Lewis Badminton will want to keep his lead now, but David all over him and almost hits the back of him. Heading into turn 10, will we see him go for a move down the inside? No. He will tuck in the back, and heading into turn 11, will he go for a big boy dive bomb? He touches Lewis Badminton just that slightest, and he loses the back end there as a result. But he seems to be pretty confident in the way he's moving about. Lewis Badminton already put under immense pressure as he goes down the outside. Lewis Badminton goes into pits, and David follows. Oh, the honorable gamer actually might have tapped the back in there. Here we go for the pit stops. This is the part where he wants to see. So Lewis Badminton will be the first one to pit for these hard compound tires. Will he come out in front of the rest? David actually gets held up by him. Oh, he gets held up by the McLaren as well. The McLaren managed to undercut him. And the Williams of Maple is the last, but it was actually not a gamer who was last in this train, but now he's at the front of this train. He's at the back, sorry. So Ruthful has boxed as well. Very entertaining race. So Ruthful seems to be in a good position now, but this train seemed to die out. The train's not really a train anymore. But Vessel on a move on David, who's managed to undercut David, it seems. Feel that pressure tires, he seems to be much quicker. Running into the lead, Luca boxes. Let's see what tires he's managed to box, or he's boxing into. He goes on to the hard compound tires. Genio stays out for one more lap. So Luca, ooh, GC Fungus losing the back end there. He is on used hards though. So will Luca come out ahead of GC Fungus there? We will have to see. Ryan's just there, and GC Fungus manages to get by, but does Ozone get in front? Actually, he's on a move for Polar Haze as well, and Luca gets the undercut on Ozone. And keep in mind, Ruthful does have a 5-second time penalty, so now Ruthful will want to get ahead as soon as they can. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. So currently HCR Ingenio is 13 seconds ahead of second place. So he will come out behind. He might come out just in front of Futuristic, I think. He's not too far ahead, but he's not. But he is quite close as well. Ingenio stays out one more time. So we see something on these mediums, or he might be going mediums to softs, because if he stays out for another 3 more laps, he will be able to go for the rest of the race on the soft compound tires. We'll have to see. But Luca only making positions up. Ruthful with the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Luca will want to get in front of GC Fungus, who is holding him up, it seems, as soon as possible, but cleanly as possible as well. Don't want to round into the back of him. But because of this, Ruthful is now all over the back of these two, so definitely hurting him. Definitely hurting him indeed. And Luca does get the move done, and now Ruthful will be held up by GC Fungus just in the slightest. He does get a much better run and does get the move done the corner right after. So now GC Fungus, who did manage to, or not GC Fungus, Luca, who hasn't managed to overtake him as quickly as Ruthful does. Ruthful overtakes him twice as fast as Luca did, so he will be on the back foot here, Luca. But we see Ingenio come into the pits. No, so he is going, I'd say, on the mediums to soft compound tires. But with those softs, he will have to push as quickly as he possibly can with those soft compound tires, try to catch up, because they will wear out compared to these hards that will be fresh, I'd say, or will feel fresher than what the soft compound tires will endure towards the final few races. I can't speak. You know what I mean. Pixel with another 3-second time penalty. Such people going over the pits. So we'll have to see exactly what happens, because Luca will most likely get overtaken here on the DRS straight by Ruthful, who tries to go left and right. He is managing. Ruthful won't be close enough to go for a big blue dive bomb unless if he doesn't break and just ends into the back of Luca, which is a possibility to keep in mind. Not impossible. I'd say it's impossible either. So Luca being put under immense pressure now from Luca. Actually, there's a yellow flag, and that's the McLaren of R10 who spun, and that's another spin from him. Sadly for him. He gets the move done on Luca, as they will go side by side heading into turn 1. Luca forced to give the move, give the position, because that would have been a crash if it would have stuck out a bit more. Another yellow flag, and that's him as well, R10, who's just retired from the session after multiple spins. And Luke actually cuts that corner quite a bit. Does not get a time penalty from it, from what I can tell. Another yellow flag. Can't see yellow flag hanging to turn 3. It's R10. Will retire. Oh no, he won't retire. He will still be racing R10, just under the AI. Oh no, he is stopping now inside. Just left the session. It just sums it up really. So will Ingenio box now and go for the rest of the race on these soft compound tires, and we'll be seeing him go onto the hards. That's what we will have to see. Ingenio stays out one more time. Definitely something to look out for. So look at, as I was about to say, he is staying behind him. Ruthful. And he is 10 seconds now in Genius, so he will come out, I'd say, in P3. So it's a bit unfortunate. Interesting. We'll have to see exactly strategy-wise what Ingenio has to say. Seems to be going well for him for now. And Luca actually, he is really much staying, behind. He's not, losing any time. It's not like he's pulling away. It's not like he's gaining massively either. He's in a good position, I can tell you that much. Luca all over the back end here, heading into turn 13. They will go side by side. Ruthful just gives him just enough space and won't see the move done. But he is in front now, so he did manage to get in front now. That's very nice for him. So it's now a 1-2 as we see, and Luca or Ingenio still staying out on these worn mediums. So I'd say he will go on the softs. Have to see what the plans are. Will Ruthful go for a big boy dive bomb here into turn 1? No, he won't. He will stay reasonable. So penalty-wise, Ruthful, do keep in mind he does still have a 5-second time penalty. I'm not sure about Luca though. I'll check now. Let's see, Luca and Ingenio. So Ingenio has a warning. Who am I looking for again? Ingenio does have a penalty. So Ingenio does have a penalty. Ozone has a 5-second time penalty. And Luca does not have any warnings. So as Ruthful goes for a move down the inside, but Luca does stay, and they will go side by side here heading into turn 9. And he gets the move done. Simple as you can get, really. He is pretty quick though. Both of these drivers are, battling, and it's allowing Ingenio to not lose too much time. Rules on Burgers, why? You see if you move futuristic on Fox. He does have to rev glitch, so we'll just go like this for now. The old AlphaTauri car. Or, I should say, the new AlphaTauri car. And Ingenio does box on the soft compound tires, so he will be the quickest on the field towards the end of this race. It's a very interesting strategy. He does come out P4, and he is roughly 10 seconds behind, so he isn't close at all, but we will see him catch up, I'd say, quickly. So now Ruthful is back in the lead of this Grand Prix. Do keep in mind he does have a 5-second time penalty, so that won't last that long. So Luca is managing to keep within a pretty close proximity to Ruthful. He's managing to gain quite a lot of time as well, thanks to it. Ingenio already catching up with P4. So I won't be surprised if he doesn't finish so high, because strategy-wise he did pick a different strategy, and he will be quickest towards the end. Maybe not P1 contention. There's another yellow flag. Can't tell who that is. We'll have to see which it is. So Luca will have DRS once again. We'll want to catch up as quickly as he can. I'd say Luca's in the best position currently right now to win this race. Because he still does have a 5-second time penalty in P2. Oh, he does go wide. And it's Luca actually who's managed to catch up quite a bit. And that's the Haas driver Polar Haze in the back there, who's lost the back end. We'll continue to see these two fight. Are fighting hard and long, so it's good to see from them. So Ingenio, although already he's going to put these soft combat tires to Yasin, should get the move done here. He should also easily get the move done as well, the extra slipstream. And should be a pretty easy move, unless if Yasin has anything to say against it, which he does. He does touch the back end though, luckily he does not spin out. And now he's into P3. But the top two currently battling, so if he can stay behind and try and get, good finishing position, probably best hope now, I'd say. Luca seems to be quicker. There's a switchback a move there, and actually Lewis Badminton is really close to these two. There's a big battle going on for P3 now. Probably stick with the time being. Just tapping a bit. So Genio does not have, I can't speak, does not have DRS, so Lewis Badminton, or Yasin I should say, sorry, should get the move done. Oh, and he cuts the corner Geo, and now he has a 3-second. Luca once again all over the back of Ruthful. So, on penalties, from what I can see, Luca will win if he doesn't get any more penalties. Let's see, does Luca have any penalties or any warnings? Luca does not have a singular warning. Luca has no warnings. Ruthful does though. So we'll have to see exactly what happens towards the end of this race. Ruthful trying to go left and right to change, to prevent the slipstream from occurring. Oh, Ruthful goes down the inside, heading to turn 11. Will go wide. Luca tries to go down the inside, but he cuts the corner luckily. Hopefully they won't touch each other and they hit each other. Gino actually were 10th behind Yasin. He's at ERS though. So 4 more laps left. So 4 more laps for Ruthful to try and keep this lead, and also try and attempt and try to I can't speak, and try to force Luca into a penalty. Luca will go for a dive bomb here, and they cuts that corner, Luca, so that's going to be a warning against his name. So if Ruthful can manage to get more of these and Luca gets a penalty, all he needs to do is finish 2 seconds ahead. But that's not going to be easy now as Luca goes for a move down heading into turn 1. They will go side by side. I say turn 1, but it's actually turn 10. As they will go side by side into turn 10, they do touch Martin. They touch going into turn 11. Hopefully no one makes contact with each other. They still go side by side though. Very good racing from the two. He will have the inside line advantage, Luca, on Ruthful. So that's Ruthful's P1 gone, unless if he has anything to say against it. Luca goes defensive, will get the best line heading out, but he doesn't get the worst either. He goes for a move down the inside, Ruthful on Luca, so that's already his P1 gone. Lewis Bamington gets a 3-second time penalty. He's not a gamer now. So Luca will go for a move down the outside on Inaudible Gamer as they do touch. Indeed, it's going to be a really interesting final few laps. I'm going to put these standings away and focus fully on the race. He does let him by heading into turn 11. Ooh, brakes much later. Luca currently does have less ERS, not by much, but he does roll zone. Almost loses the back end completely there. So, will Luca be able to defend? Oh, he goes wide, and Ruthful tries to go for a move down the inside there. That would have been very close if he did. Luca seems to be very vulnerable now compared to Luca. Or no, Luca seems to be completely vulnerable. This is the second last lap of the race. Ozone gets a massive launch. We'll get the DRS assistance, and we'll see the move done before the corner even starts. So now he has one more lap to get in front. Will we see the yellow flag there in sector 1? That's the Alfa Romeo of Fox, who's lost it. Let's come back though. Aaron Ruthful now under pressure because of the slipstream. Slipstream powered, kind of OP, not gonna lie. So good racing from these two. boy who sets the fast lap with the 132, so that's Whoever's fast lap, I believe it was Ozone with the hards. Gets his 1 point away if he does lose. He probably won't be able to set a faster time than 132, to be honest. So the final lap of the Grand Prix. I'm pretty sure Luca does not have any time penalties, but we will have to see on this last lap what exactly happened. I will pretend as if I didn't tell you Luca did not have a penalty and Ruthful did. So we will pretend as if these two don't have penalties and they will battle to the wire to make it interesting, okay? So Ruthful needs to manage to swerve him out of the DRS, but I don't think he'll be able to do that. So Luca will get the DRS here, heading into the DRS straight. I think, yes, he will. I don't know if he's close enough to get the move done, but they're both equal on ERS. You can barely tell that, they're different people. So Luca will go for a move around the outside, hitting into turn 9, but he doesn't get the move done. Doesn't make the move stick either. This is really his last chance. Hopefully for Luca, he doesn't bash into Ozone, and he knows that he has a time penalty. Hopefully. Right now, these two are on a league of their own, currently 20 seconds ahead of third place. These two are battling. These two as well. We're battling since the very start, so it's not like they didn't give any chance for the others to catch up. But actually, Luca loses the back end quite massively now. Will we see if time penalty does come? Okay, no, never mind. I'm not gonna push my sentence because it's not worth it. But Luca will come across the line, I believe, to take one. Take P1. Ruthful comes across the line to take P1, but Luca is 2 minutes behind Luca. What? I'm confused. He must have had a lot of time penalties, or that could be just a glitch. Luca going down the order as we see. Luca already in P8. I think that was just a glitch though. Right, so Pixel comes across the line with all of his time penalties. Still manages to get in front. Fox, after spinning a few times, will come home to take P12. Actually P11 because of the dip. Right. So, Ruthful once again. Oh no, it's not Ruthful. Alright, so Ruthful is the winner of the Grand Prix. Luca in P2, followed by Yasin, Maple, Vessel, David, and Genio, GC Fungus, Lewis, Badminton, Futuristic, Pixel, Impact, Fox, and Polar Haze to end things off. So that's it for the French Grand Prix. Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys all next week in, I believe it's Austria. So see you all then.